Hi there, folks. Thanks for joining me once again. We're looking at the 2005 Fermat paper, and we're up to question number 19. So this is the penultimate question in B part, second last question. Sam bicycles at 16 kilometers per hour. Chris bicycles at 24 kilometers per hour. At noon, Sam is 1 kilometer north of Chris and begins to ride north. And each begins to ride north. How many minutes will it take for Chris to catch Sam? I don't know why they say at noon. That seems odd, but okay. So this is sort of a classic concept that appears, I'm not going to say every year, but it does appear fairly often, is you've got people sort of racing to meet each other, or one person's going faster and they're racing to catch up to someone who's got a bit of a head start. And so we tend to do these questions, and sometimes you can make them very complicated. I can't remember if it was 2005 Kaylee, but it was some question that I did within the last 2 weeks. And it had a dog catching up to someone and then running back to someone who was a little slower, and it involved a lot of these. And it's just sort of a recurring thing. I also remember there was a contest question. I don't think it was 2005. It was sometime in the last couple months about Marcos and Michael, and they were chasing the ball and these sorts of things. It's a concept that comes up a lot, so let's sort of address it. If you have two people or two things and they're moving towards one another at some given speed, so like A meters per second, B meters per second, the time it takes them to get together, if they're both headed towards one another, the best way to figure that out is, and they're trying to cover some distance d apart. So distance is speed over time. The way I think of it is, imagine A was stationary. He views B as getting closer to him, not by speed B, but by speed A plus B. That's if you imagine it from his perspective. It looks like this person's getting closer. And so then the question is, well, how long does it take to cover distance D at a speed of A plus B? And that's a pretty quick equation. D over A plus B gives us the time it takes. And you can rearrange this as needed. They solve for A's, B's, D's, that sort of thing. So the other possibility that happens is we have two people, they're heading in the same direction. Now one person goes a little faster than the other and is trying to make up a distance. So imagine it from B's perspective. If B is looking behind, they notice A is catching up, but not at speed little a. Because remember, B is running, so effectively that reduces A's speed to A minus B. And this is why little b has to be less than the speed little a, because somebody has to gain the distance. So how long does it take them to catch up? Well, again, same sort of thing. D over A minus B gives us the equation for the time, and this can be rearranged as needed. Okay? So this is how we view these questions. They come up a lot, so I figured, high time that I actually give a generalized view of this concept. Okay? So, for our particular question, we have Sam and Chris. So let's get to the real question here. So they're riding north, and one guy starts 1 kilometer ahead. And they're moving, it was 16 kilometers per hour, and I think 24 kilometers per hour. All right, let's just go back and double check. It's been a while since I saw. 16, 24, 1 mile north. They both start riding north. Okay. How long will it take them to catch up? Well, difference in their speeds over the distance. The distance to be made up is 1 kilometer. The difference in their speeds is 24 kilometers per hour minus 16 kilometers per hour. So 1 kilometer over 8 kilometers per hour. 1/8 of an hour. Now, they asked for minutes, so how do we calculate time in minutes if we know the time in hours? Well, there's 60 minutes in an hour. We line it up so that the hours cancel out. So now we got 60 over 8 minutes. Both of those have a factor of 4, so 15 over 2 minutes, and I think that should be good. They didn't write them out like that. They wrote them as mixed fractions, but it's a D, 7.5. So it's 14 plus 1 over 2, 14 over 2, plus 1 over 2, 7 and 1/2. But D nonetheless. Okay? So there you go. That's question 19 there on the Fermat. We got question 20 up next. We'll take a look at that in the next video. I'll see you then.